Hi and welcome to the Theme Park Trainer Podcast with your hosts, Ryan and Dan.
Hello.
This week we're talking to Amanda, aka Boston White from the Universal After Dark podcast, and her job in today's podcast is to convince us to attend Halloween Horror Nights this year. It's a very good chat. We're doing this intro after we've recorded. It was a really good chat, and well, she certainly convinced me. Although Dan is the first person to actually get his ticket. So, Amanda, you've done a fantastic job.
I wasn't sure whether you were going to mention that because we're recording this like several days after the actual episode.
Yes, well, we've done it. You've got your ticket. So, you know, you're in this podcast. Amanda's got loads of great tips for first timers and also people that have been before. And we talked to her a lot about Universal After Dark. E.T. obviously comes up, and all that kind of good stuff. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast.
Each of us has a dream, a heart's desire. It calls to us. And when we're brave enough to listen and bold enough to pursue, that dream will lead us on a journey to discover who we're meant to be. All we have to do is look inside our hearts and unlock the magic.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
So yeah, this week we are joined by Amanda, the horror queen, the Halloween Horror Night queen, because we've been talking about going to Halloween Horror Nights for our theme park trader trip in October, but the more we talk about it, the more we are thinking about checking out. I think that's fair, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, the more we talk about it, the more we talk ourselves out of it.
Yes, which is bad, because we know we'd possibly have a good time. But like Stranger Things is like the thing that's maybe like is holding us on at the moment to book it. But we thought that it would be the perfect opportunity to have you on the show, technically for the second time, but the first time as a solo guest. So welcome to the show, and basically your job today is to convince us to go to Halloween Horror Nights and convince anyone who's listening who hasn't been before to go. Because I think, whether we like it or not, we maybe unfairly give Disney too much time on this show. So this is very much an episode, while we might touch on Disney, it's going to be Halloween themed in a respect, and probably Halloween Horror Nights themed as well.
I see. Well, first off, I'm defo going to come on here more often because you guys give me a much nicer introduction than my guys do.
Yeah,
So
we've been on the receiving end of your guys' intros, so yeah, we're nice to our guests, except
yeah,
Craig.
Craig's his own kettle of fish.
He needs no introduction.
Definitely not. But touching on what you guys just said about Stranger Things, I feel like you guys are in the same boat as a lot of kind of first timers for this year. I think Stranger Things is bringing an awful lot of new people to the event, which is only a good thing.
Yes.
And I'm glad that it's reaching out to people who wouldn't necessarily consider attending Halloween Horror Nights before. But what is it about Stranger Things that's drawn you guys in so much?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I don't know what Dan will, I'm sure, go into his reasons in a second. I'm like a massive horror fan. Well, maybe not massive horror fan. I'm a horror fan.
I mean, you just literally said a minute ago that you're thinking of checking it out, but you're a massive horror fan. I don't understand.
Well, because what happens is, when I watch a horror film, like, I love the classics, like Child's Play and Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, and I love those films. So they're brilliant, and I enjoy watching them. I've got most of them on DVD, Blu-ray, combination of the two. And the problem I've got is I don't really want any of them coming near me.
I mean, I don't think anybody wants Freddy Krueger to come near them.
Well, this is my issue, right? So I know that Chucky is going to be there in some respect. Now, I've seen some of the Chucky costumes in the past, and it's not quite how I imagined Universal bringing him to life. I personally think they should invest a little bit of money in an animatronic or two. That's just me. But
okay, well, but before you continue, I'm just going to tell you what I've heard.
Okay, go.
For this year. So I'm in full agreement with you that the Chucky costumes that we've had at Horror Nights before haven't been the best. And that's because I feel like it's very difficult to kind of have a costume or a mask or a makeup that can be wearable for such a long time, because these scare actors will be out there for like 45-minute sets, and then they'll swap for 45 minutes and then they'll come back out. So they need something that they can replicate a whole bunch of times, and something that's easy to wear, and it's awfully hot too.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's hard for them to do it. However, that was my kind of feeling too, is, okay, I'm super glad that Chucky's going to get his own scare zone this year, and I'm really glad that we're going to see him, but I can't handle that Chucky mask one more time. And so I've heard that we could be seeing a Chucky puppet instead.
That'd be cool. I think that's what's needed. Like, Chucky is such a... It's one of those films that I love watching. Like, I think it's for me personally, it's one of my favourite horror franchises, and because I've never been to Halloween Horror Nights, but I have watched some of the videos. I've obviously seen some of your stuff before, but also some of the outfits from previous years, and I'm like, oh, it kind of looks like something I could get from just a dress up shop anywhere. But that's not necessarily criticising the whole event, because I think that's the worst costume I've seen. But there's some incredible costumes that I've seen that is probably the main reason that's turning me off, in that I'm not sure I fancy Mike Myers running up into my face with a knife.
I mean, it is scary, but that's the whole point of it.
I know, and that's, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit of a wuss when it comes to people running at me with knives.
Well, right, okay, I'm going to, before you tell me your Stranger Things answer, I'll let you in a secret. So, even though you're referred to me as the horror queen, and I do love horror films, I love every kind of horror, I love being fully immersed in safe horror situations, I also am a very big wuss. So I feel as though people kind of imagine that I'll just walk through these houses and it's going to be a breeze and nothing will faze me. I run through these houses screaming. There's been times that I've crawled along the floor with scare actors getting me from either side and chasing me through. There's been times that I've been shimmying along walls, and I run out of every house, basically.
I mean, this makes me feel a little bit better. I mean, because is it better to stand still? Like, let's say I turn up and someone runs at me. They can't touch you, right? So is it better to stand still?
No, they can't touch it. I mean...
Just act cool, like, yeah, whatever, I'm on my phone. I'm not scared of you.
That's it. I feel like the cooler that you act, the less they're going to touch you. And anyone that's ever in a group with me will tell you the exact same thing. They'll always target me. 1, because I'm the smallest. 2, because I'm a girl. And 3, because I'm the one that's screaming and running.
What happens if we scream like girls?
We're screwed. We're screwed.
then you guys are going to get it worse than I would.
And we're both short as well, so that's
we
not
are
good.
both quite short.
Okay, so basically you are screwed. But if you try to act cool, then they probably won't go after you as much. But if they know that they're going to get a reaction from you, obviously their job is to scare people as much as they can. And if they've got someone who's an easy target, they're fulfilling their role easier if they come after you than they would do if they were after like a 6 foot 20 stone guy who would eat them for breakfast.
I reckon, so my plan then is to buy myself some Nike tracksuits, pull them down so my bum showing with my boxers, put my cap on back to front and walk like an East Londoner. Does anything like that be alright? I could get away with that.
I mean, it could go either way.
Yeah, it's not. I'm just going to get pantsed by someone, aren't I? I think it's what's going to happen.
Most likely. But carry on with your Stranger Things. Sorry that I interrupted you.
No, this is all good because this is building the case for us to go. So Stranger Things, I love Stranger Things. I'll be honest, there's not a year in the last few years where I've considered going that hasn't excited me. I'm not going to say, every year I'm like, I don't care about any of this, because I do. But Stranger Things, it seems like a good franchise where I'm not that scared of anything from the franchise. So I know that the Demogorgon, for instance, is clearly fake, and I know that the guy in a Michael Myers mask is fake, but he looks like Michael Myers, and Michael Myers stabs people in the head. So Stranger Things is very it's 80s, it's nostalgic, and I know that other franchises are as well, but for me personally, it doesn't feel as scary as an entry point, if that makes sense.
Okay, I feel ya. And Dan, is yours like the same kind of thing?
I suppose. I mean, it's because I'm not really a big horror person, so I haven't watched a lot of the horror franchises that Ryan mentioned.
Oh, excuse me.
You were literally just saying 5 minutes ago that you're a wuss.
Oh yeah. Doesn't really work, does it?
We can be wusses that like horror, but wusses that don't like horror, we can call wusses.
Yeah, is that how it works? Is it? Okay. But see, I wasn't sure how I was going to like Stranger Things, but I did really enjoy it. And for me, it's kind of like what Ryan was saying. It's not so scary. It's not like a normal horror sort of thing. So I can get involved in that, and I think the quality of Stranger Things, I'd love to see how they replicate that in a horror house.
I think it's definitely going to be interesting, and pretty much exactly what you guys have said your reasons are for wanting to see the not Trick or Treat, Stranger Things house, is what's kind of dividing the regular Halloween Horror Nights fans. So you tend to see that if something's announced that's not really as scary, half the people are like, no, why is this here? There's no point. It's not a scary thing. Where's the horror about it? And then the other half are like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing because we don't need everything to be super gory and super horror. And it's nice sometimes to have a little kind of element of it. But it is dividing the community a little bit. Yeah. But I think it's going to be a spectacular house. I think it's going to be really good visually. I think that a lot of people watch Stranger Things, so they're going to know. I think it's always better if you've seen something when we're talking the intellectual property houses. If you've seen it, then you can understand where you are in the house and you understand what kind of scenes that you're going through, as opposed to maybe The Shining, for example. A lot of younger Halloween Horror Nights fans might not have seen The Shining, so they might not have understood the storyline so well.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think if we do go, Dan, you've got a lot watching horror films to do.
I'm going to have to brush up on some of them, aren't I? Because otherwise I'll have no idea what things are going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll just be like...
a lot of them aren't that... Chucky's not that scary. It's more again, Nightmare on Elm Street and the Chucky films are more kind of I don't know, horror comedies, aren't they?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they were the scariest films. And I mean, if you watched one Nightmare on Elm Street, or you watched one Halloween, or you watched one Child's Play, or even if you watch Bride of Chucky, you're still gonna get enough of it to know what's going on.
The first couple of Chucky films are meant to be a little bit scary. He's a funny. He's got a dark sense of humour, Charles Ray, in it, but it is kind of meant to be a bit more horror. Then you go to the kind of Bride of Chucky, not Curse of Chucky, the other one that I can't remember, with
Seed of Chucky.
Those are a bit more a bit more kind of comedy, aren't they? And then the two more recent ones have gone back to its roots a little bit, and I have enjoyed those a little bit more, I'd say.
Yeah,
definitely.
I kind of assume that some of the older horror films probably look a little bit dated these days, and so they're probably not quite as scary as what traditional or modern horror films are probably like.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. I mean, to be honest though, if they did a Ring horror house, I'm there's no doubt. It doesn't matter if I've been 5 minutes before. I'm literally pooping my pants. If there's a girl crawling out of a TV at me, I'm done. I'm sorry, I'm gone.
Well, I feel like you guys are pretty spot on with what you've just said there. Like, for example, we've got Killer Clowns from Outer Space coming to the event this year as a scare zone, and that's something that the hardcore Halloween Horror Nights fans have wanted for an awful long time. But the ones that had never seen it before that are now going back and watching it are like, this is a comedy film.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I mean, unless you're terrified of clowns and you're like absolutely terrified, it is a comedic film, and that's not divided the community in the same way that Stranger Things has. But I think this is going to be a really interesting scare zone. I'm excited to see how they're going to do it, because I feel like those costumes are definitely going to be hard to do.
Yeah, 100%. Some of those effects are, they look old, but to see that, to try and replicate that in a costume is going to be difficult.
And a costume that you can easily move around, because those clowns are like 6-7 foot tall.
Yeah.
And they're very bulky. And so how are you going to make that work in it's not even like it's in a house, so you can kind of hide behind things. You're going to be out roaming around in the streets in the Florida heat. So I'm very interested to see how that stuff's going to work.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, like, what would your tips be for us as, let's say, first time? I mean, you must be going this year, right? I'm sure you are. Absolutely.
So I have actually been going to Halloween Horror Nights, and I don't want to give away my age here, but I've been going to Halloween Horror Nights for 16 years.
Wow, that's a good run.
I mean, you can't give away your age. You're about the same age as us.
I mean, I don't want to ruin the illusion that I'm actually like 19. Get away with that. I get ID'd all the time. But so I've seen all kinds of different things at the events. I've seen the event grow, and I've seen the event change. I've seen all kinds of different fans who'll come and go, fans who'll stay, and so I feel like I could give you guys some tips, but I feel like the most important tip, and this is what I always say to everybody, is that you need to choose the right kind of ticket.
Okay.
Because an awful lot of people who will go for the first time will be like, oh, well, I'm only going to go for one night. That's all I'm going to do. I don't even think that I'm going to like it. I don't think it's my type of thing. And they'll spend maybe $70 on a one-night ticket when there's all different kinds of tickets that you can get where you're going to get more if you want it. Because you probably will. If you say you're going to go for one night and you've got the time to dedicate it to it, you probably are going to go more than once. And if you keep buying individual tickets, you're just wasting your money. So,
yeah,
are you guys thinking of going more than once?
Well, because our plan for October is very tight as it is. So we literally have one night to do this.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be like it's not like, I know it's not like Mickey's Not So Scary where you can just go in and get everything done. So we're probably gonna have to go in and just kind of choose the houses that we want to see the most.
Okay. Well, right. Definitely, you don't have space to go twice. First.
Yeah, no, I don't think we do we, Dan?
I know we have a couple of evenings where we just say a show, but it depends what we've got for like booked in for meals, doesn't it? I don't.
Yeah, I think I
don't have the plan. I think it would be a push.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you two options for in case you love it so much that you want to go for a second night. So basically, I believe that you guys are going just after I get back.
We go
like middle of October.
Yeah, we leave on the 12th. So we leave for Florida on the 12th.
Okay, so basically a one-night ticket to the event is going to be like $63, $64. And that's just a flat one night. And so the event when you guys are there is going to be on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Yeah.
So it's only Monday and Tuesday it's not on. So if you guys were to get something like a frequent fear pass, which meant that you could go any weekday, then that's only $106. So for the sake of like $30 odd, you guys could go multiple nights if you wanted to.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if it was me going for my first time, I might think to myself that for the sake of that little bit of extra money, if I do want to go again, I've got the option.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Because like you guys, I cram as much as I can into my holiday too. And so basically every night that I'm not, I go to Halloween Horror Nights every night that's on while I'm there.
Oh, wow.
And I know, I go hardcore. But I still manage to do every Disney park. I managed to do SeaWorld. I managed to do Universal the daytimes. And you can do that because it's on so many nights. So if you were going to, say, for example, be at Disney all day, the event doesn't start until 6:30 and it doesn't end until 1 or 2 o'clock in the mornings on most nights.
Yeah.
So even if you came home from Disney at 9 o'clock at night, you could still make it over to Horror Nights to do 1 or 2 houses.
So yeah, that might be worth considering then.
Yeah, that's quite a good option, really, isn't it? Because
we want to see all of Disney's nighttime shows.
Apart from one
which is terrible.
That shall not be named.
Well, now I need you to name it.
It's obviously it's Happily Ever After. Of course it is. No, it's not.
No.
I haven't seen Happily Ever After yet.
It's a great show.
It's good. It is good. It's not as good as Fantasmic, but it is good.
That's what Ryan says.
I'm usually right. Rivers of Light, of course, it's terrible.
Oh, I know this isn't a Disney show, but I'll have you guys on Death After Dark too, so that we can talk more in depth about this. But nothing makes me want to stay in Animal Kingdom for more than half a day. So I've never seen the Tree of Life show. I've never seen the Rivers of Light. I've never seen Pandora at night.
Oh, see, you're too much time at Halloween Horror Nights. That's your problem.
Well, the way that I look at it is I could watch this tree projection show, or I could be getting drunk and getting the poop scared out of me. So I know which one I'm going to pick.
You could be drinking green beer although you didn't like it, did you? I remember you tweeting about it. You hated it.
It was disgusting. It was horrible.
I actually enjoyed that.
The thing is, with the evening bits, I think you're not missing anything with Rivers of Light. You're not missing anything with Pandora at night.
Pandora at night is very underwhelming. It is not what Disney sold it to be at all.
Well, I get that impression because whenever I was seeing people's pictures of Pandora, even in the daytime, it looked super vibrant. And I was like, oh my God, it looks like those colours are absolutely fantastic. And then when I got there, I was like, well, this is an awful lot of beige.
Yeah, I think
and very muted tones, and so then I had to highly contrast my picture so that mine didn't look crap in comparison to everyone else's, and I was like, great.
See, I think Pandora is an amazing place. I'm still not convinced that having Avatar as a land in the first place is a great idea, but I think the ride, Flight of Passage is a fantastic ride, and I like what they've done. It does look like it does in the movie, which is probably no more than you could ask for that land, but the franchise doesn't interest me. And Nighttime, which I was most looking forward to, because they promised it to be this, plants would change on the touch and everything glows on the touch, and there's none of that. There's like one plant that lights up and that's it.
Wow.
So, but I think the tree, the show on the tree is very good. Kilimanjaro Safaris, I enjoyed the nighttime safari, and Expedition Everest at night is fantastic.
I mean, I do love Expedition Everest.
So there are reasons to stay. Rivers of Light and Pandora are not those reasons.
Well, okay, so if you're going to go and watch Illuminations, and you're going to go and watch Happily Ever After, and you're going to go and watch Fantasmic, and you guys are there for 2 weeks?
We're only there for 11 nights.
Okay. I still believe that you will have time to go more than one night, and now I am taking this challenge to convince you to do it.
You've got to convince us to go first, let them go twice.
Well, right, so based on the fact that you guys saying that you're going to go for one night, I'm going to do all my tips for you based on one night of going. So will you guys have regular daytime Universal passes as well?
Yes, we're the plan right now is that we're going to be there for the whole day.
Okay, so this is another super important thing that I always advise anyone to do if they're just going for one night or 2 nights, and that's stay and scream. So that is where you don't need to leave the park. So basically the parks are going to close at 5 o'clock when you're there. And then the event won't start until 6:30. So a lot of people, if they are staying for the day, will leave the park and go around City Walk and then come back at 6:30, wait in a super long line to get in and go in with all the crowds. However, there's specific areas around the park where they will kind of corral everybody into, and you'll wait out that time inside the park and you'll get let into the houses first.
Okay. That's good to know.
So, exactly. But the only stipulation is that you obviously have to have a daytime ticket as well. So as long as you're in the park before it's closing, and there's been times when I've ran into the park 5 minutes before closing and then ran over to Stay and Scream area just so I could do it. So you can choose which Stay and Scream area that you want to go to. Mm-hmm. And what I'd advise you to do with that is to pick the houses that you think are going to be the most busy and get them done first.
Like Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. So Stranger Things and Trick or Treat is what I'd say are going to be the busiest ones of this year. Mm-hmm. And that makes it a little bit difficult to do it because the Stay and Scream areas basically are either at Finnegan's or in Springfield, and the Hello Kitty area too. So if you want to do Stranger Things first, you're going to have to go to the Finnegan's Hello Kitty area, and that's where you'll wait.
Do we know what Stranger Things is going to be then?
Well, we have a speculation map. We don't have a real map out yet, but basically another Halloween Horror Nights fan site release speculation map every year, and they are usually, I'd say, 90% correct every year.
Okay.
So right now on this map, it is where American Horror Story was last year.
Okay. Because I think we'd be happy. We kind of know we're not going to get everything done, and I think we'd be happy to just do a few houses, see what the event is all about, and then that's kind of what I'm looking to do this year, is turn up. I think Stranger Things is a great year to turn up for the first time, see what it's all about. Obviously, in my case, I will probably be about 5 pints in before I even get in. And then see what it's about, and then next year, because next year I'm going for 3 weeks. So
okay.
Next year, I think if I enjoy it, I will definitely be following your advice and going, okay, well, we've got 7 or 8 nights here where we could make. I think realistically, it's probably only going to be a couple because we go late October. I know it runs into early November, but we go late October, so I think there's only going to be a few nights that we can go to it. But I think if I enjoy it this year, there's no reason why I wouldn't go again.
Awesome. So if you wanted to be 5 pints in then Finnegan's is still going to be your best place to wait out. And then they will literally let everybody that's waiting in Finnegan's or the Hello Kitty area out to the Stranger Things maze before they let anybody else into the park.
Nice.
That's good.
So you will... Basically, I always say to everyone, do those front ones first. Even if you want to go and do Stay and Scream in the back of Springfield, get those 2 tents done first, because they basically won't let you go from one Stay and Scream area down to the front of the park or vice versa.
Okay.
They'll only let you do the 2 houses that are in that area. So it'd be Stranger Things and an original house that's in that area that you could do. Mm-hmm. And if you're in Springfield, it'd be whatever's in the 2 tents that you could do. But as soon as you'd done those 2, then you could run right to the front and you'd probably wait maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is, sounds like it's a bit of a queue, but those front houses, regardless of whether or not they're good houses, are obviously the first house that people are going to hit as soon as they walk in. So those queues are always an hour and a half, 2 hours. I've seen American Horror Story be like 3 and 4 hours before.
Wow.
I know. So it's definitely worth, especially if you guys are just going to go for the one night and Stranger Things is your biggest thing you want to do Stay and Scream in Finnegan's, have a few pints, and then you'll get let into their house first. But bear in mind that's what a lot of people are going to be doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think for me personally right now, the main thing I want to see is Stranger Things and Chucky.
Okay, well then the Chucky Scare Zone is, according to the speculation map, is going to be in the Hollywood area.
Okay. Because
So it's not too far.
If we enjoy the Stranger Things house and we haven't filled our pants by that stage, then we will, we'll queue up for other stuff. If we'll stay there for the night, for sure. Well, maybe not right until the end because we have to get back to Disney, and I can imagine everyone jumping out of Universal at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock is mental.
I mean, it is, but I stay on site, so I just get the benefit of just hopping on the boat. So I miss all of that. But if you guys could maybe, and like another tip that I'd say is to make yourself a little list of ones that you know that you definitely want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And work through them. And
by that stage, we can follow your advice. Because you would have been.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. But, I personally prefer the original houses. So Halloween Horror Nights do two different types. They'll do intellectual property houses, which is where they'll get it from films and they'll basically replicate the film scene by scene, or they'll pick specific scenes out. Same with TV shows. And then they'll do their own original concept houses, which is stories that they've completely made up themselves or characters that they've completely made up themselves. And that's probably my favourite part of the event because I'm super into costuming, I'm super into themes, I'm super into set designs, and I like seeing things that I've never seen before.
Yeah. And
so
it's more surprising as well, right?
Well, that's it, because I don't know what I'm walking into.
Yeah.
If I'm walking into a Halloween house, I know what the story's going to be. If I'm walking into, say, for example, last year we had a house called Dead Waters, and all that I knew was that it was going to be loosely based off of a scare zone that we'd had, or a character from a scare zone that we'd had in a previous year. And that was the only thing that we really knew about it. And so everything in that house was a complete surprise to me. I didn't know who any of the characters were going to be. I didn't know what any of the costumes were going to be like. I didn't know anything about the story. And that, to me, adds a whole other level of being scared.
Yeah. Was that the like swamp voodoo one?
It was.
Yeah.
And basically the facade of that house was a big, like, I don't know what they call these ships, but like the big, massive ships that you'd see in like Louisiana, like New Orleans type of places.
Yeah.
And it was incredible.
Paddle steamers.
Yes, that is.
You can always rely on Dan to have the technical knowledge.
I love it. Usually I would rely on Nick or Chris or P-Dabs to tell me what something is actually called, so I just make things up. But it was incredible. It was absolutely huge, and it was so beautiful. And I appreciate things like that. Don't get me wrong, I also appreciate things like seeing the house from The Exorcist replicated, or the house from Halloween. Like, I love seeing things like that, but if it's something new that I've never ever seen before, I appreciate it in a whole different way.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. So yeah, that's some good advice. So what about the kind of, because I know that they have obviously merchandise and drinks and things like that. What is there anything worth knowing about that?
Basically, they will have a different specialty cocktail every year, based on the theme of that event. So this year's overall it's kind of a loose theme of the event this year is 80s. So I imagine that's going to be a cool kind of 80s themed drink with a cool 80s themed blinky cup. So you can pay a little bit extra for your drink and get it in the souvenir cup, which I recommend doing. You don't have to get the cocktail. You can get a beer in one of these cups as well. But then those blinky cups are just nice little things that you can collect every year that you go then.
Let's say you don't drink alcohol like somebody on the podcast. Can you get soft drinks?
I mean, I think that you have to get a alcoholic drink in them. I know that last year when I went, I didn't want to drink anything on, I think it was the last night that I was going, and I was like, I just want the blinky cup and I don't want to drink anything. And I'm pretty sure that they said to me that I had to buy the drink. Even though I wasn't going to drink it, they had to sell me the drink.
Oh, wow. Well, don't worry, Dan. I'll just drink 2 beers.
I was going to say, I'm sure Ryan won't have a problem with that.
Well, there you go. There you go. So, I mean, if I was there, I'd drink it, but I'm not going to be there at the same time as you.
Well, we've got to coordinate a trip at some point.
100%. Well, I mean, we are on our podcast thinking of doing a meetup next year at Halloween Horror Nights, because, I mean, if you've listened to Universal After Dark before, you'll know that Craig and Nick went out for the weekend last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Craig went out by himself with his other friend who's not on the podcast the year before. So they're mental.
Oh yeah, that is crazy to go.
It is insane. Like, I don't even think that jet lag would have the time to hit you.
No, I don't think so. I think it's absolutely mental because I remember he did send me a message about that actually. It might be possible because it's my honeymoon next year. It's like a full 3-week trip. Is pretty. Yeah, it depends on when you guys are going, really.
Well, I believe, like, I go the same time every year. So I always go, like, the last week of September. And I think that that's going to be around the time that we're planning on going. I don't know if those guys are just going to go out for the weekend again or whether they're going to come out for a little bit longer. But I tend to stay for either 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So I will be there at some point anyway.
Yeah. So I'm sure our trips crossed over last year, but we didn't get the chance to meet up, I think.
Yeah, I feel like they maybe crossed over by, like, 2 days or 3 days.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. But we'll definitely need to figure something out. And then I can come to Halloween Horror Nights with you and show you all the cool things.
Yeah, but that means we're more likely to get scared by people if you're there.
I mean, that's true, but then you get the full experience then.
That's true, yeah. That's very true.
Because there's nothing worse than if you're going through a house and basically the way that you go through the houses at Halloween Horror Nights is you're kind of in, as much as you'd like to go through, well, I mean, you guys might not like to go through by yourself. I personally would like to go through by myself or in a small group, but they need to keep the line moving constantly. So you go through in a kind of conga line.
Oh, that's all right. I'm happy with that.
Well,
it's a bit safer for us.
Safer, but sometimes you will miss scares because they'll get maybe the group that's in front of you and they need to reset the scare, and so you might miss it. But occasionally you can go through and you can miss almost every scare. But I mean, if you're with someone who scares very easily,
I mean, is there a perfect way to time that? Is there a perfect way to time so we can just enjoy the scenery? That's what we're going for.
I mean, if you time it on a cast change, you're perfect.
That's great. We'll just wait and say, okay, when's the next cast change? We're going to go in now.
No, you need to get the full scary experience. Yeah. I'd lie. I'd be like, oh, it's happening right now. Not, it's a new team and they're all raring to go.
Yeah, because I know exactly what will happen. I know these types of cast members. They'll be like, oh, it's happening right now. And then just as we walk in there, you just hear them go, and we'll be like, oh, God.
Pretty much. But there's also specialty foods that you can get at Halloween Horror Nights. So I don't know if you guys have ever been like around Mardi Gras time before.
Don't think so.
No, I'm not sure I have.
Don't think so.
Not to Universal. Well, I think I may have been around Disney. No, I'm telling a lie. I just stayed at Port Orleans. Ignore me. It's always Mardi Gras.
I mean, same thing. But they basically have like little kind of pop-up food places for Mardi Gras and for Halloween Horror Nights where they'll do specialty foods. Like the most probably popular one is twisted taters. So that's kind of spiralized potatoes on a stick that they will flavour with different seasonings.
Nice, that sounds good.
I mean, some of them are delish, some of them are not so delish. But then if you guys like pizza and you like fries, they've just started doing pizza fries, which everybody seems to love.
That sounds good.
That does sound good.
I mean, it sounds good, but I don't eat meat, and they have pepperoni on, so I can't have them.
No.
But Ash tried them, and Ash really liked them, and everybody else seems to really like them too, so I'm down for it. And then they do things like pretzels and mini donuts. There's tons and tons and tons of stands all around the event that are either bars or pop-up food places.
Well, maybe if nothing else, Dan, we can just go for the food.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got to restock our bowels somehow, haven't we? So
we just
another thing
straight after the house to just be like, it's okay. We've just got to reset our calorie intake.
Amazing. So there's another thing that you guys might be, probably not for this time because you're not going to have time to do it this time, but something to maybe think about in the future, or if anyone's listening who is thinking of going, but they're maybe a little bit scared, or, they do have more days they can go on. There's additional ticketed things that you can do at the event. And one of those is a scare actor dine-in.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like an accident waiting to happen for me.
I mean, I feel like it could go either way. It could traumatise you. But at least this way, you're, one, happy because you've got a full belly.
Yeah.
And two, you can see them coming. So you know where they are. It's lighter.
Okay. I mean, it wasn't necessarily for me. I mean, if they catch me off guard when I'm trying to do my insulin, they're getting something in the eye. It's just...
I mean, we don't want that to happen. We don't want you getting kicked out. But that option's there, and a lot of people who I've spoken to in the past who maybe aren't as into horror, and I know an awful lot of people that go to the event and don't go in any houses. Because they're too scared, but they will do the scare zones, and they'll do things like scare actor dining because they're getting a little bit of a feel for the event, but it's kind of something that they're more comfortable with than going into a house where they can't see where the people are or where they're coming from, and it's dark and it's loud. So basically they do the scare actor dining in Monster Cafe.
Yeah, I've seen videos of that, and it does look pretty cool.
Yeah, and that as well, even if you are super into horror and you are super into being scared, that gives you a chance to get up close and personal with the scare actors and those characters in a way that you wouldn't get to do at any other point in the event.
And are they usually original characters in there, or can I have dinner with Jason Voorhees or Chucky?
It's a mixture, so it's whatever's going to be at that event that year. They do try and have a good mix. So last year they had Sam from Trick or Treat in there. This year, I imagine they'll again have Sam from Trick or Treat in there because Trick or Treat's back as a house this year after the amazing scare zone that we had last year. But they do have original characters in there too. Like, my personal favourite original characters that have ever been at the event are the body collectors. That's my favourite type of original house, and they've had them in there before, which I think is really cool.
Okay.
So I think it's definitely worth doing that, and that's not too expensive. That's only $49.99 each.
I mean, to be honest, they need to be paying me to go to that.
I mean, I think it's cool, but I'm one of these people, and I'm the same when I go to Disney as well. Like, I try to not... I love food. I'm not saying I don't love food, but I try not to waste so much time on food.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have something quick while I'm walking around, or like a quick sit-down 5-minute thing, whereas this is something that would take a little bit more time. So it's not something that I'm super interested in, but it's there for people who maybe don't want to do the houses so much.
So and that doesn't work. So you have to then pay for the ticket and then pay for that as well. It's not, you can't just pay for dinner and leave.
No, you'd need a ticket for the event, and you'd need to pay for this. It's
a lot of time, isn't it?
But if you're super into it, and if you're like me and you go on multiple nights and you've got the time to do it, like I can go to Halloween Horror Nights and I can get every house done, every scare zone, and every show in a night, depending on the crowds.
Yeah. When's the best day to go then?
It's changing so much. I don't think that it's getting like September used to be the quietest time to go, and it's definitely not the quietest time to go anymore. It's kind of like that with the event now too. I'd say in the past it was probably Thursday nights were the quietest nights.
Yeah.
But now Thursday is kind of turning into the new Saturday.
Right.
So I wouldn't necessarily say that there is a super quiet time to go. Maybe Sundays, I'd say.
That's when we're going.
I was going to ask where we're going.
There you go. Perfect. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be dead, because it's definitely not going to be dead. It's still going to be a very busy event, but I'd say probably Sundays and maybe Wednesdays too, because it's not on every Wednesday. For the first few weeks, it's not on a Wednesday at all.
Okay.
So an awful lot of people who are maybe just general fans who don't go all that often might not know that it's on a Wednesday. So I'd say Wednesdays and Sunday are probably the quietest days that you could go.
I have to say, you are turning. Well, you're turning me around. I don't know if Dan is ever going to be turned around to the idea. I think
I'm just shaking in the corner.
I'll just be dragging him along. Don't get me wrong, Dan. That's going to be me as well. I'm just going to have a bit of Dutch courage from the amount of alcohol that I've had.
The thing is, though, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but if nothing else, I just like appreciating, and it's the same whenever they open a new attraction as well. I just like seeing something that's a little bit different in the park. I like seeing, these guys work on this event all year round.
Yeah.
And I like seeing what they've put all their hard work into.
I think that's a really good point. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and also, when you compare it to Disney, which don't get me wrong, Mickey's Not So Scary is one of my favourite events of the year, but it is a copy and paste from previous year. There's nothing different. There's nothing different every year. The Hocus Pocus show hasn't changed for a few years now. Trick or treating stations are the same. Okay, yeah, they might have a few characters dressed in different costumes every year, but other than that, it's pretty similar. I love going every year, but it's pretty similar. And I think I do, if I could get into Halloween Horror Nights, I think I would appreciate exactly that. Having a new experience in the theme park every year without fail is pretty cool.
Exactly. And also, another thing that you guys might really appreciate if you are feeling a little bit scared is Academy of Villains.
Oh, is that that's the show, isn't it?
Yeah, so they are a dance troupe, and basically when I adore Academy of Villains, like I absolutely am obsessed with them. I really, really love them. But when we first started hearing rumours that they were coming to the event, I was like, I'm not into dances. And like, this isn't my type of thing. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this. And as well, the previous year, we'd had Jack as the icon. And we'd had a huge Jack and Chance show. And it was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. Everybody loved it. And then the year after, they're like, okay, well, now we're going to have dancers. And I was like, no, that's stupid. But then when I saw them, I was like, these guys they're not just dancers. They are absolutely amazing performers. It's a theatrical show that they put on. I've never seen anything like it in my life before. And that's coming from someone who's not a dancer. I mean, I like dancing myself when I'm drunk, but I don't like watching dancers. This blew me away. And I, honest to God, hope that they come back to Halloween Horror Nights every single year. And I'd never say that about anything else that's ever been at the event before.
That's pretty cool. I mean, is that... you might tell me I'm completely wrong, but are they thinking of upping the ante this year and putting them where Bill and Ted were?
Yes. So that's what the rumour is. And I think, honestly, they deserve it because they've been at the event for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But both times we haven't actually seen their full show that they've wanted to deliver because we've been hit by hurricanes both years, and that has either destroyed the sets or made it so that they can't perform. So last year they basically had to completely redesign the show, chop it down into a 14-minute show with no props, with a basic stage set up. And so this year, if they can be in the Bill and Ted Fear Factor stage, it's a little bit more weatherproof. Yeah. And it means that they can utilize more of the area. They can have bigger, more extravagant props. And I think that this year we're going to see a whole new level to Academy of Villains. And I am so down for it. I'm so excited. And I feel like you guys might appreciate that.
Yeah, and is that kind of thing usually go on multiple times in a night, or is it just once a night?
Multiple times in the night, so usually it's about 4 or 5 performances that they do.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see one of the, like the old Star Wars dance-offs, but with horror icons. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
That would be pretty cool.
It wouldn't go down very well. It wouldn't go down very well with most horror fans, but it would make me feel at ease. Seeing Jason Voorhees, doing the Thriller with someone like Freddy Krueger, that'd be great.
I mean, maybe.
I should be lighting the mood a little bit.
It's to get people ready. Say 4:00 before the event starts. Get those last minute tickets in. I'm telling you, it's a moneymaker.
A horror icon hype party. That's what we need.
There you go.
I love it. But this year, like you've just said, we're not going to have Bill and Ted anymore. This is going to be our first year ever without them. So it's going to be a little bit different.
Whoever's replacing them has a lot to live up for, from what I understand and from what I have seen from their shows online.
They were absolutely incredible. They were so much fun. And that, again, was just a nice break from the scary, where you can just go and have a laugh.
Yeah.
It's like a 40-minute show. It was basically a recap of the year of pop culture. And everybody loves Bill and Ted. I've never met a person that doesn't like Bill and Ted. So it was super fun. And I don't know if we're going to get a second show this year on top of Academy of Villains. I mean, the website says shows. It doesn't just say show.
Yeah. I'm
But
telling you, that dance party is coming.
Well, I mean, you heard it here first, guys. But, the shows are a nice break. Like, my mom is the most anti-horror person in the whole entire world. She doesn't like anything scary at all. But when I used to obviously go on my family holidays, she would come to the event and she'd sit and watch Bill and Ted, or she'd sit and watch the scare zones from afar. But she's never ever been in a house in her life.
And this very, very basic question. Do the rides shut?
Okay, so a lot of the rides are open.
Okay.
So things like The Mummy and Men in Black are open. They open Diagon Alley now too, so it's a good chance to see Diagon Alley at night, because if you go in September and October quite a lot, you won't ever really get the chance to see it in the dark.
No, I've never seen them in the dark because, the parks close pretty early that time of year.
So it's a good opportunity to see Diagon Alley. And so Gringotts is open. I believe the Fast and Furious is going to be open. If that's your cup of tea.
Is anyone riding that now? I've not been on it yet, but already I know I'm going to hate it.
I mean, it's there anyway.
I'm more scared on that than in your houses, to be honest.
Honestly, probably right. You probably will be. But they do have quite a lot of rides open, So again, if the houses aren't your thing, you can at least go on the rides with a much, much shorter wait time. Things like Despicable Me and E.T. unfortunately aren't open.
Oh.
Surely E.T.'s got to be open. It's the biggest horror, right?
It's the biggest horror show Universal's got.
I mean, they usually will put a queue for a house near E.T. So you get to walk. Like last year, they had Ash vs. Evil Dead in the parade building, which is behind E.T. So you walked as if you were going into E.T. and then kind of looped around, so you could smell E.T. But you couldn't
have
experience.
A little whiff of E.T. on the way through.
A little bit. Felt nice.
It does smell good. I will give you that. It does smell good.
Yeah. Smells delicious. And I mean, if Rip Ride Rocket is your cup of tea as well, that's also open, and that has a very strangely long line every night.
Oh really?
Yes.
I'd like to do that night actually.
I love roller coasters. I don't there's a ride that I've ever been on that I thought I'm scared of that, or I just didn't like it. But Rip Ride Rocket hurts me.
Yeah,
hurts me as well.
I felt the same about Dueling Dragons, Dragon Challenge. Even I loved it, but I am sad that it's gone, because like I'm one of these weirdos. Like I get hurt on Space Mountain and love it. I think it's brilliant. So I didn't necessarily not enjoy it, but it's one that occasionally gave me a headache. So that's why I didn't like it that much. Rip Ride Rocket is one of those ones that because I'm not a great fan of heights. So that first climb, every time I go on it, I am literally pooping my pants.
Love it. But I'd say probably another tip that I would tell you guys to do, and this comes from Luke actually on our podcast, is if you guys are going to go and do Stay and Scream, I would recommend, and so would Luke, wearing sunglasses until you get into the house. And that's because it's still very light outside when the event starts, and it's light. Well, you guys know yourself, it's light until maybe about 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so if you're coming from the bright Florida sun, into a very, very dark house, that's kind of exaggerated because your eyes can't adjust to it. So even though it's dark and you still would be able to see certain things, you can't see a thing if you've just come from the bright sun.
It's good to know, Dan. Maybe we'll take some kind of UV light with us just to make sure we... No, that's really good to know, because actually if Stranger Things is our first house, I want to be seeing all of that.
Exactly. So we recommend wearing your sunglasses until you get in. And the thing with the Stranger Things house is it's probably going to be the same as the American Horror Story queue, in that you'll queue outside and then you'll go into the building and think that you're going into the house, but really you're going into more of an inside queue.
Right, yeah.
So you'll have plenty of time to sort your life out and take your sunglasses off and stuff. But we 100% would say that. And as well, another thing with it being so light outside is that you're going to get 2 different views of the scare zones. So you're going to get to see them in daylight, where you'll get to see kind of all of the effects and how they work, and you'll get to see all the details. But then you'll also see it later on in the night, where it's how they obviously want you to see it. Yeah. And it's all super well lit and really cool effects in there. So you're going to get both views of it. Whereas if you're going later on, like I've known people who have gone for the first time and they've just turned up at 8 and it's already dark, and they're like, yeah, well, I just want to be there in the dark, blah, blah, blah. But then, 1, you're cutting loads of time off of your night. And 2, you're not getting to see, like, you'll see the props throughout the day, but once they move everything out for the night, it's cool to just see those little details.
Yeah, no, that does sound good. I have to say, you are doing a most excellent job.
Good sales pitch.
Yeah. Also, a little Bill and Ted reference there. Just throwing it.
I like it. But I mean, you guys, you guys are on Twitter and you'll see the websites and things like that. So you'll kind of have an idea of what's coming already. Yeah. Even with the originals, they tend to post like little videos with little snippets of what you might see.
That's the one. We've said it before, but that is the one downside of doing what we do, is that we do kind of end up knowing most of what's going on before. So, like, Fast and Furious, I would love to go into it in October thinking it's going to be the best thing ever, but I'm going into it thinking it's going to be crap, because I don't like the Fast and Furious franchise, which doesn't help, but B, the feedback has not been good, and because, obviously, we're talking on podcasts and writing blog posts and guides and all that kind of thing, we do kind of have to know all this stuff, but it might help in this situation, I think, to kind of know what we're to expect.
Exactly. I definitely feel that, because there's obviously, because I've been going for such a long time, I've seen all different ways of the announcements working. I've had years where I haven't been online at all.
Yeah.
Because I was just too young to even pay any notice to anything like that. And I've just turned up and it's been a complete surprise. They, for a very long time, used to just do all of the announcements in one go. Yeah.
We're still waiting on some this year, aren't we?
We are. We're still waiting for quite a few house announcements.
It's quite late,
we've got all the scare zones. I mean, I wouldn't say it's any later. Like, they've definitely released things later than this.
It feels quite late, though, doesn't it? Maybe because they announced quite a lot last year, didn't they? Around, I don't know. It just felt like they were announcing stuff earlier last year. Maybe it's just because this year it's getting all a bit too real for me. So I'm just like, please, maybe it.
I know last year, I think it was The Shining that they announced, and then we didn't hear anything for like 2 whole months, and we were like, hello?
Yeah.
What's going on? But this year it seems like, because usually what they do is I say usually, but they do tend to switch it up quite often. But for the last couple of years anyway, they'd announce some IPs to kind of drag people in and get some attention, and then they would announce all of the originals pretty much in one go.
Yeah.
And this year we've been getting standalone original announcements. So my views on it was that we were going to get an announcement maybe every week for the last few weeks, which hasn't happened.
Yeah, it's weird. They definitely, as you said, I mean, they announced huge Stranger Things to start with, and it's just like, okay, this is a pretty big announcement. And then, as you said, they've been quite slow on the announcements, but we're getting very close to starting point now.
We are. So, this is going to start mid-September. So it is just a few weeks left to go. And I think we have 5 houses left to go. One, two,
I think so. Something like
three, 4. Yeah, 5 houses left to go. We've got all the Scare Zone announcements already. So we have an original Scare Zone called The Harvest, an original Scare Zone called Vamp 85.
That sounds lovely, doesn't it? The Harvest. That sounds like a nice autumnal. Maybe I can get my pumpkin spice latte. It sounds nice.
It might sound nice to you guys, but I'm deathly afraid of scarecrows. So it doesn't
you've made it sound worse.
Yeah, that anything harvesty or anything even like traditional Halloweeny, there's going to be scarecrows in there, and I know that that's not a good time for myself. So I already know that I'm going to be terrified.
I was hoping for helping people to pick apples or something like that.
Or bringing some cans in for a school harvest assembly.
Exactly. Oh God, do you remember doing that? Oh.
Ryan's going to bring his tin of peaches from the UK.
From 1995.
Amazing. But then we've got a Scare Zone that's kind of a sequel to a Scare Zone that we had a few years ago, which is Vamp 85. And Vamp 55 was absolutely adored by Halloween Horror Nights fans, so I have high hopes for this one. I think it's going to be cool. I like a bit of vampire action. And then obviously we've got Killer Clowns.
That kind of event.
I mean, have you seen The Lost Boys?
Yeah, fair point. Maybe we will be there every day.
I think, yeah. Last year they had I called it Festival of the Burbliest. It was actually called Festival of the Deadliest, and that was basically just girls dancing around stripper poles.
Wow.
With some stilt walkers thrown in there.
Just for a bit of inclusion for everyone.
Yeah, just so that I could also enjoy it. But, I imagine that it's going to be very girl-heavy in this Vamp 85 one too. We've got Killer Clowns. We have Twisted Tradition as well, which is going to be in the Central Park area. So, again, it sounds like it's going to be a nice zone. It's going to be filled with pumpkins and most likely scarecrows in there too.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got Chucky as well. And so, you're excited about Chucky.
I like Chucky, yeah. Chucky's cool.
Yeah. But then,
if you get too close, you can just, kick him away.
I honestly feel like, because basically the story of this Scare Zone is that it's going to be a toy fair or a toy festival type thing, and then Chucky is kind of commanding all of these toys to carry out his weird shit. Can I swear on this podcast? I already did. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. We used to care. We care less now.
You could bleep me out.
We don't have those editing skills.
That sounds far too professional.
I definitely don't. I just leave it. But he's going to be basically commanding them to do things. So I do definitely think he's going to be a puppet.
That does seem to suggest that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll see all crazy big toys roaming around.
That sounds friendly.
A big, teddy bear.
Nice big teddy bear with a gash on his face.
Why is he holding an axe?
What's he doing to that other toy?
That pretty much sums up that zone. But I honestly feel like you guys are going to be very surprised at how much you're going to like it.
I hope so. I do hope so. It's the one big park event in Orlando that I've not experienced, to be honest.
Well, so you have to tick off your list.
I do have to. It's whether or not my little heart can take it.
Just start slow then. You're going to see everything in light anyway, so you'll know where everything is. And then start with your Stranger Things. It's not going to be the scariest. And then, feeling a bit brave, you can move on to, Trick or Treat, I think, is going to be one that you'll like.
Okay.
Because, again, it's not terrifying. Have you seen it?
No, I've not seen that. I want to watch it. Is it a good film?
I really, really like it. I think it's cool. It's not scary.
I'll check it out.
Have you seen Krampus?
No, I haven't seen Krampus either, because I've heard you talk about them before on a lot of podcasts that you've been on, and I do want to watch them. So maybe I can try and fit a couple of them in before we go.
definitely. I think that you guys would do very, very well from watching a couple of things that are either rumoured to be there or that have already been announced. And I think Trick or Treat is definitely the first one that you should watch, because it's very Stranger Things-esque in the way that it's just going to be a beautifully done house. There's little scary elements in there, but overall it's just kind of a fun, easy to watch film. And I think it's going to be the same kind of house, not terrifying, easy enough to go to. Like, and again, I know people that'll go and they won't go in any houses, and I know people that'll go and they won't go in any scare zones, but they absolutely adored Trick or Treat scare zone last year.
Okay, well, to be honest, I think if we go, we're definitely going to go to a scare zone, and at least we're going to definitely go to at least one scare zone and one house. And if we're still okay and surviving after that, then we'll go to others for sure. Like, I wouldn't want to go and not do something.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, you're not going to have much choice with the scare zones because you have to walk through them.
Oh God!
Yeah, walk or run.
Like, there's ways that you can avoid them by, like, kind of walking around the edges and, like, going down little side bits to avoid them. But I don't think that you'll want to. I think that you'll actually want to walk through them completely.
I told you, we just all we need is those chaffy tracksuits, baseball caps, and walk like we've pooed ourselves, which ironically probably will be the case. Walk around like we're hard.
Now no one will ever know. Are you pretending? Have you actually?
Either way, no one's going near us.
But I do think that you guys will really, really enjoy it, and then I think next year you'll be like, oh my God, yes, we want to go out to every night.
Yeah, and next year, if I do enjoy it this year, I can take Donna and see what she thinks.
Yeah, you can act all chill next year, Ryan.
Like, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
It's no big deal.
What else? Yeah, I've done this once before. I'm an expert.
Yeah, pretty much. But I do want to think that you're going to really, really enjoy it, and I think that you will be surprised by how much you actually do enjoy it.
I think, to be honest, you have done a fantastic job at turning. Well, you certainly turned my opinion. Not that I thought it was a bad event, far from it. But you've made my nervousness a lot less so.
Well, I mean, when you invited me on the podcast, the way that you said it was, okay, so me and Dan are going to go to Halloween Horror Nights for our first time, and we just want to hear, like, your tips and blah, blah, blah. And then before we start recording, you're like, well, we're considering going to Halloween Horror Nights, and you kind of need to sell it to us. And I was like, oh, well.
Well, but the thing is, I knew you didn't need to prep because you do such a good job at selling it anyway. And the tips are really useful as well, because we will be using all of those tips 100%. And it's good to know that if Dan wants a light up special edition cup, I get a free beer. So,
and I mean, they do two different. Well, I mean, lately they've been doing two different types of Blinky cups. So I mean, you might get two, but one of them you might have to get the cocktail for. So I mean, you might get a beer and a cocktail out of it.
And I'm going to need to get one of each for myself. So I'm sorted.
Yeah, Ryan's not complaining about any cocktails.
No, I drink probably some of the girliest cocktails known to man. So I'm not worried about that.
It depends if they write you on a list. I always ordered a chocolate martini. It will scare him extra.
Whoa, chocolate martinis! Don't be dissing them.
I've never had a chocolate martini.
What have you been doing?
You know, I don't like. I imagine it's like milkshakey. Is it?
It's not actually. No, although it does have like half and half in it. It's surprisingly not. It's nice. I tell you what. When we're out there at the same time, we'll go for a chocolate martini. Okay,
well, I'm excited, but I'm also nervous because, like, I don't like anything like creamy. Like, I don't like Baileys.
Well, if you don't finish I'll drink it and get you a beer.
I mean, I'll have a sip of it. Like, I went to. Have you ever had a drink in Toothsomes before?
Yeah, the milkshakes there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like the milkshakes, but. We went and did an RIP tour, which is another thing that you can do at Horror Nights, which I'll talk to you about in a second. But we went like a pre-meetup thing there, and you know, everything in Toothsome's chocolate flavoured. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to find cocktails on the menu that weren't chocolatey. They were very, very strong. And then people who are listening may or may not know that Florida guy, Gary. He was with us and he's like, oh, try. I can't do a Geordie accent, so I'm not going to try. But he's like, try my cocktail. It's really, really nice. Blah, blah, blah. So I try it, and it's like chocolatey coconut. And I think like maybe whiskey was in there too. And I was like, this tastes like a spiked Bounty, and I am not about this. Like,
oh, no,
I do not like this.
I don't like coconut and chocolate. They should not go together. So
I mean, I like real life Bounties. I hate chocolate, honestly. Like, I'm not a chocolate fan at all. But I like chocolate with, like, I like Bounties, and I like Reese's, stuff like peanut buttery kind of stuff. But I don't like any kind of creamy drink. I don't like Baileys. I think, is it a white Russian?
I think so.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Well, my
Can't
hopes
do it.
aren't very high for you liking a chocolate martini, but we'll see. You never know.
You know, I might be surprised. Who knows?
You never know.
But anyway, in RIP tour, basically, and I'm just going to do this quick because I know that we've been on for ages because I just talk and talk and talk. But if you wanted to get the most out of your experience for just one night, you can do an RIP tour. So that basically is where you'll pay additionally on top of your ticket. And I think it's about $120, $150 per person to do this. So it's not cheap. But you will be in a group of maybe 10 or 12 people, and you'll have your own tour guide, and they will take you to the front of the line. So you don't have to wait in like an espresso. You can buy expresses too, but the expresses, obviously, you still wait for just like maybe half the time. On an RIP tour, they take you right to the very front and they lead you straight in. And then when you come out of the house, they'll tell you a little bit about the house, how they made it, about things that have been at the event before. So it's basically just a personalised VIP tour of the event. You can choose what houses you want to go in, when you want to go in them. So you're kind of in charge of it, as long as everyone in your group's happy with that.
That's pretty cool. Do you do all of the houses, or just like, okay, we're doing 5 tonight?
You would do, like, you have them for the entire night, basically. So if you pay for your RIP tour, you've got them from open until close. So you could do every house twice if you really wanted to.
That's pretty cool. I like that idea.
Sounds like
It's
good
good.
value.
And then you'll get VIP seating at the shows. You get to be taken to the front of the line on, I think you can either pick 1 ride or 2 rides, depends on, you know, how the night's going. So they can take you right to the front of the line on a ride too.
Yeah, but you know what will happen, don't you? You know exactly what will happen. Me and Dan will be like, oh yeah, let's do the Mummy, and then some walnut at the back will be like, yeah, Fast and Furious. I'll be like, oh, for God's sake.
I mean, I've never done a shared tour before. I've only ever done the private ones. So if you've got enough people going with you, you can be with just your group.
Yeah.
So that's what me and Chris are doing again this year. So it's just going to be me and Chris and a couple of our friends doing it. And so you'll just pay like kind of an overall price for that. And you could, like, me and Chris could just go if we wanted to, as long as we paid the overall price. So the times that I've done it, I've just been like, okay, well, I'm going to go on Gringotts, so I'm going to go on Gringotts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, if Despicable Me was open, that would probably like the one that I'd want. Not that I love Despicable Me, because I don't, but because the queue is always so long for it during the day, I
ridiculous.
never ever go on it.
No, it's not worth the wait.
No, but if I could have the opportunity to do it, I'd do it quickly.
Yeah.
But Gringotts is probably the best actual option to do.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Also,
So that's another thing with.
well, I think before you go, I just wanted to talk, and to be honest, I could talk about all of this for another 2 or 3 hours like you could, because it's really interesting. But before you go, there's something you do on your YouTube channel. Obviously, you do a lot of podcasting as well. But every time there's a major announcement, you kind of announce it you talk about it on YouTube, and you also dress up as a character, often from the franchise that's being announced. And like, what I wanted to know is first of all, where did you get the idea to do that from? And secondly, how the hell do you do all of that so quickly?
I mean, okay, so where I got the idea from was I like cosplay type of things anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I'm into that. I've spent like my whole life just like I've always made my own costumes for Halloween or any kind of fancy dress party or blah, blah, blah. And I just like making stuff. Like, I just like making things. And so the very first time that I did it was when it got announced that Chance was going to be the icon for Halloween Horror Nights 26. And I was like, I absolutely love Chance and I would love to dress up as her. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, well, you know what? It'd be pretty cool if I just stuck that on the beginning of the video. Because otherwise I'm just dressing up, I'll take a picture and then I'll take it all off and no one will ever know, really. So I just did a little film of it, stuck on the beginning, and I didn't really think anything of it, but then people just seemed to really like it. So I was like, well, I mean, I might do it like one more time. So then Krampus got announced and I was like, I freaking love Krampus. And I'd kind of heard a rumour that Krampus was going to be coming. So I just started kind of messing around and making some Krampus horns. And I literally, the way that I make things is I just find things around my house and just kind of repurpose them. So I made these horns out of like plastic cups and tinfoil and straws and paper mache. And I just kind of fabricated them out of that. And then people seemed to really like that one too. And I was like, wow, people are really enjoying this.
That's amazing because they're really good. So the fact that you're repurposing stuff is incredible. They are. I mean, some things like I can't repurpose. Like I went a little bit wild this year when people started, because like you said earlier, it's hard for us to be surprised by anything in theme parks because we did podcasts. So a lot of the time, I'll kind of hear things, a while in advance. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, like I'll maybe try and just like start making a few different costumes for things that have been rumored, and they'll never ever actually happen. So then I just kind of have those lying around my house. And my boyfriend goes mental at me. But did you actually hide them strategically? Because that's what I would do.
I mean, it's very hard to try and hide like a gigantic Sam from Trick or Treat paper mache head.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah.
Like, it's hard to hide things.
Just put it in the back of his car, maybe? Something like that?
Well, for a while, I actually had him in the back of my car because he was like, I can't deal with this in this house anymore. And I was like, well, okay, Sam, you're just coming with me from now on. And then everyone just thought I was, like, weirder than I actually am.
Everyone thought you were just a serial killer, just driving around.
Yeah. I mean, they basically do anyway when I'm, like, stood outside in my... Because a lot of these I'll film, like, in my street. Or like I have a farm, so I'll film it like outside the barn in the farm. Like have you seen American Horror Story?
I've seen the first season and a half. Okay,
so there's a season called Asylum, and one of the characters in that is called Bloody Face. Mm-hmm. And I basically took a Michael Myers mask that I had, and I cut it all into little pieces, and I covered it all with latex and sewed it all together and like stuck hair all inside of it and did all kind of weird crap to it, put teeth all over it and made it into a bloody face mask, which took an awfully long time to do, but it looked cool at the end. So then I had to stand outside of a barn at my farm while my boyfriend was sat in the car like, I hate my life, shining his headlights on me while I've got my tripod.
He's like, what am I doing here?
He spends all of his time being like, what? How did I end up with her? She's insane.
That's amazing. But then, incredible, because I do remember seeing that actually. I remember going away and researching what it was because I knew it was from American Horror Story, but I hadn't seen that season. And some of the stuff you make is genuinely, like, I'm not being sarcastic or anything. It genuinely is amazing.
Thank you. I feel like probably the one that I'm the most proud of, and this is one that I couldn't really repurpose out of anything, was the Demogorgon one that I made for Stranger Things. Mm. Because for that, I had to mould every single tooth in it by hand. That's and insane. That took such a long time.
I need to commission you to make me some kind of costume for Mickey's Not So Scary. I mean, maybe you need to tone down on the scariness part, but...
Maybe not the Demogorgon.
Yeah, I can't...
I don't think that'll work.
That's not going to work out very well. That's incredible. Because I thought when I saw that video, I was like, oh my god, where did you buy that mask? I was like, because that is awesome. But the fact that you've made that is just insane.
I think on that video, I actually filmed a little bit of how I did it, and I just stuck, because everyone's always like, oh, can you just like do like a tutorial video of how you do the things? And I was like, honestly, sometimes, because I'll hear like, oh, hey, I think Stranger Things could potentially come this year, but then I'll also hear, actually, it's definitely not coming this year, but blah 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 is going to come instead. So that I might start doing something, but I'm doing like 2 things at once, and I'm just doing like a bit at a time. So I can't really just sit and film.
You can't do like the whole sequence of you going through and making.
Yeah, exactly. So I tried to film as much as I could of like just like little bits of me making this one, but I think I filmed like how I made like the petals of the head out of wire, and then basically covered those in tape, and then stuck all of those together, covered them in latex, and the latex was a nightmare, but it was like super thick latex I had to cover it with, and then I had to mold every tooth, stick every tooth in, do all different kind of layers of paint on it. And I was like, I mean, I wish I would have filmed more of this now, because it's pretty cool, but sometimes I just don't know how something's going to turn out, and then I'm like, this is rubbish and I'm not doing this.
Yeah, but
because I'm not trained in any, like I haven't been to school to learn how to do anything. Like I just wing it. Well, and if it turns out okay, I use it, and if it doesn't turn out okay, you just never see it.
I think, to be honest, you've definitely got a potential career there, so...
Well, thank you. I mean, Universal, if you're listening and you want to hire me, I am available.
Of course Universal are listening. Why would they not be listening to this podcast?
Of course they are. So, yeah, hire me.
Amazing.
But if you haven't seen my videos, if you just search for Boston White on YouTube, there'll be a mixture of those announcement videos, and I always put the little costume bit at the beginning, and then there's some vlogs from Halloween Horror Nights as well, so you get to see the event if you're not going to go, or if you're planning on going, you can see what it's going to be like.
Perfect. And obviously most people should already know this, but if you want to tell everyone where you also podcast.
Yep, so I do 2 podcasts. I do Universal After Dark, which is obviously Universal News, and that's quite Halloween Horror Nights heavy. We try and separate it as much as we can, because I know some people just aren't into Halloween Horror Nights, but we do episodes every other week pretty much on that channel. And then we have Diz After Dark, which is our Disney sister podcast, and so on that one there's quite a few more of us on there, and that's a mixture of Disney news, Disney rumours, some Disneyland Paris things, but we have just launched a standalone Disneyland Paris podcast too. I'm not going to be on that one because I don't know a thing about Disneyland Paris.
I mean, that network is slowly taking over the world.
It definitely is. It definitely
it's a
is.
podcast almost for everything now. It's amazing.
Yeah.
How you guys keep it all up, I have no idea. Like, we struggle to record 2 a week, let alone the 75 that you guys do. It's mental.
We do an awful lot of podcasts, an awful lot. But I mean, the guys listening to this now will have most likely heard our crossover episode. So we did one on our Universal After Dark channel about E.T.
Yes, we did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a debate of whether it should stay or whether it should go. And I think, we can all be in agreement that I convinced you guys that it should stay.
I mean, you may have convinced us to attend Halloween Horror Nights, but you definitely did not convince us to keep E.T.
There's still time. And then I think, did we do Space Mountain?
We did do Space Mountain on Theme Park Trailer, yeah. And they both released Christmas Day, I believe. So if you go back to December, they're both there.
Uh-huh. And they're very fun episodes too. I really enjoyed both of them.
Yeah, we really need to be collaborating more, don't we?
100% we do. Like, I'm definitely going to get you guys on After Dark, and I 100% want you guys on Universal to talk about your experience at Halloween Horror Nights, because I want to hear all about it.
Well, now that we've been told to come on the show, I think we better go.
We're going to have to go now. Yeah. I'm going to be upset.
I know, we can't do that as well. We can't do that to you after speaking to you for like an hour and a half about Halloween Horror Nights. We can't turn around and say no now.
No, you have to do it now. You've committed to it.
That sounds good to me, though.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Amanda. We appreciate it, and we definitely need to do it again when we've bucked up the courage to go to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me on. It's been so nice to be surrounded by boys who aren't swearing in every sentence.
No insults from us as well. It's got to be the first time ever for a podcast, right?
I know. I feel like a new woman on this podcast.
So thanks again to Amanda for joining us today. As we mentioned, we will definitely be doing more episodes together in the future. As to where you can find us, we are on themeparktrader.com. We're on all of the socials. Our username is themeparktrader. I'm on Twitter at Ryanogs, RYANOGS. Dan is also on Twitter.
Yep, Scrooby Online, SCROOBY Online.
And please do leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. We want to be rising up the ranks of the charts, and we appreciate all of the downloads and positive things you guys are saying already. But if you're one of the listeners who hasn't left us a review yet, just go to iTunes, search Theme Park Trader, just leave us a 5-star and a little comment. That would be great. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Ah, there you are. And just in time. There's a little matter I forgot to mention. Beware of hitchhiking ghosts. They have selected you to fill our quota, and they'll haunt you until you return.